Is it England? Who's leading them into the kingdom, brothers and sisters? Who's leading them? Who's leading them in there? It's the Messiah. So you telling me, or should I say the word is telling us, that we not going into no kingdom unless Messiah leads us in there. Is that true? Is that correct? Right? We're not going into no kingdom unless Messiah leads us in there. Wait a minute. Let's get some more witnesses, because I don't want nobody to think we're making this up, because unless the UN or the United States or Great Britain is the Messiah, them people over there, I don't see no Messiah. Matter of fact, they will tell you Messiah ain't come yet. What they doing in the land then? What they doing over there? If Messiah ain't come to lead them in there, what they doing over there? Notice what it says here. Revelation chapter 21. Revelation chapter 21. Going to read from verse 1. From verse 1 down to verse 6. Notice what it says. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, Yochanan, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yahweh is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Yahweh himself shall be with them, and be their most high. And Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is thirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. Now, so if you're going to get into New Jerusalem, sounds to me that Messiah and the Father are going to be there. Isn't that correct? Sounds to me that they're going to be there. Sounds to me that you can't just decide because you claim to be the children of Israel and you go into this land and UN provide you with weapons and the United States gives you billions of dollars of Federal Reserve notes, and all of a sudden that you the chosen people. I mean, how's that? That don't make no sense, does it? All them people talk about, the Messiah already came. This already happened. The generation has passed. Let them fools talk that foolishness. I'm going to tell you what. As we read Ezekiel, you see many times he say, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Praise the Most High. Isn't that what he said? He said, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. See all these fake gods, idols, this white Jesus, the gods of the Christians, the gods of all the nations, idols. There's only but one true one. And he's going to show you who he is. Again, notice this. Here's another one. Revelation chapter 6. Nobody want to mess with us with this Revelation, man, because there's too much witness in here. Revelation chapter 6. Notice what it says, Revelation 6, from verse 12 to verse 17. Revelation 6, 12 to 17. Notice what it says. Revelation 6, 12 to 17. I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come. And who shall be able to stand? Wait a minute. Did that happen yet? Y'all see that? Did that happen? Did that already take place? Okay. So we can't, wait a minute. Let's get some more witness. People are like, well, you spending a lot of time in Revelation. Nobody knows Revelation. It's a closed book. Nobody understands Revelation. All right. All right, then. Let's look, wait a minute. Let's get some more witnesses then. Let's get some more witnesses. Zechariah chapter 14. Zechariah 14 from verse 1. Man, let me see. There's too much here. Zechariah 14 from verse 1 down to verse 5. Let's keep that one short because we got other witnesses. Notice again, we got other witnesses that want to bear witness. Notice again, behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. And I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. And the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. Half the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. His feet shall stand in that day in the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem, on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west, and there shall be a very great valley. Half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yea, ye shall flee like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. And Yahweh, my Most High, shall come, and all the saints with thee. See, we ain't seen none of that yet. We ain't seen none of that yet. That ain't come yet. So what they doing over there? What they doing over there? What they doing over there, man? What they doing over there? None of this happened yet. What they doing over there? And why are they making us pay all our money to them people over there? You know why? Because this earth is run by Asatan, and he's making us earn our dollars to send it to them. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. But that's why I say don't get caught up in these dollars, brothers and sisters. Don't get caught up in them. Don't get caught up in them. Don't get caught up in them. Let them get caught up in it. Okay? One more witness before we head over to Ezekiel. Isaiah chapter 11. Isaiah chapter 11. Isaiah chapter 11. Oh, yeah. Love this one. Isaiah chapter 11. I'm going to read from, let's see. Man, so much here. I'm going to read from verse 1. Oh, yeah, we need to do this before we get to 37. Absolutely. All right, so we're going to read from verse 1 all the way down, but let's read this in sections, okay? So let's start at verse 1, and I'm going to read down from verse 1 down to verse 7 to start off with. Isaiah 11, 1 to 7. Notice what it says. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of fear of Yahweh. And he shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like an ox. Wait a minute. Is that what's going on over there now? Did the root of Jesse go over there already, and we didn't know it? And all this peace is over there, and all this righteousness? Oh, okay. Okay, so that didn't happen yet. Okay. I just want to make sure, because, people be talking about they the chosen people and all that. I just want to make sure, because I ain't see all of that. I ain't see none of that yet. I ain't see none of that. Okay, let's continue. Isaiah chapter 11, from verse 8 down to verse 12. Wait a second. And the suckling child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Amath, and from the isles of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So let me see now. So he gonna take his people from all these nations, and most of these nations look like, well, doggone it, they look like they come from Africa. I mean, I'm seeing Pathros, Cush, Egypt. Them the places we call them Hamites. All them Hamites. Lands of Hamites. So, in other words, this people scattered among the Hamites before they got dispersed all over the earth. See, I'm taken from the four corners of the earth. So they went into the land of the Hamites. Then they apparently got dispersed of the earth. And the Most High said, I'm going to gather them from all these places. Did that happen? Did he get people from Africa over there? Oh, yeah, them Ethiopian Jews. Right? Oh, yeah. No, not really. So, brothers and sisters, this stuff did not happen yet. No, because the true people are just waking up right now. They're just waking up right now, praise the Most High. Just waking up. He says he's going to assemble. Notice he said the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah. Praise the Most High. Yeah. So he's gathering all the 12 tribes from all the corners of the earth. And Messiah is going to do it. And when Messiah does it, he's going to call us all. You see, when Paul says, the dead shall rise first, and we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the air to meet Messiah in the air. So shall we ever be with Messiah. That's the call right there. That's the finishing touches. Okay, that's the finishing touch. He's calling and awakening us right now, getting us prepared for that. Praise the Most High, y'all. Getting us ready for that. Praise the Most High. Let's finish this chapter from verse 13, because we're gonna catch that also in Ezekiel 37. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of from 13 to 16 he shall. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. They shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hands upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. And Yahweh shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind he shall shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day when he came up out of the land of Egypt. Oh, yes. Praise the Most High, brothers and sisters. So I say all that to say, right now, Israel is scattered. But what the Most High is doing is he is resurrecting Israel. He's resurrecting Israel. And he's bringing Israel up from the dust. And we know that Messiah himself said that he himself is the resurrection and the life. Isn't that right? Messiah told, he told Miriam, and Miriam said to Martha, he said, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And he that liveth and believeth in me shall never die. What's that got to do with Ezekiel 37? Let me tell you. It's got everything to do with Ezekiel 37. Let me say that again. It's got everything to do with Ezekiel 37. It's got everything to do with it. Because, brothers and sisters, again, I just want to stress, the Father has appointed Messiah to be the resurrection and the life. The Father has appointed Messiah to be a king on this earth, to rule this entire planet. This is going to be his. And all the nations that are alive, the nations that are the saved of the earth, are going to submit to David and to his king Messiah of the earth. Okay? Israelites are going to rule this planet. And the other nations are going to bow to the Israelites. And they're going to bow to the Israelite Messiah. There's just no question. That's what's coming. And right now, brothers and sisters, you see, if you know the Most High, if you know his word even a little bit, if you read any of these history lessons in his word, you know that what he does is he likes to make it look as if his people have no hope. Like they're trapped, like Gideon's 300 men against 100,000 soldiers, right? Or like the Israelites coming into the land against giants, or David slaying Goliath, right? Or the Israelites having no way out. They got the Red Sea in front of them. They got mountains they hemmed in on each side. And here come the most powerful army on the earth at that time, the Mizraim of the Hamites, coming at them to kill them. And they trapped. And all of a sudden, Moses puts that rod out. Most High spreads that sea and they walk over on dry ground. And their enemies walking behind them and are destroyed. He always makes it so that his people look like they're not going to make it. It's just not going to happen. It's just look like it's just finished for his people. And the way it just amazes me. See, brothers and sisters, we see planets. We talk about planets being in orbit, right? We talk about planets being in orbit, okay? Let me tell you something. The Most High knows from the beginning of everything he created where it would be at every second of every millisecond of every moment of every year of all time. He knows exactly where everything would be at every moment. You think you just met the love of your life? You think it was accidental that the Most High brought you to that person at that time? It was created from before the earth was created. He knows already. He knows way before. And he has called forth his chosen people from before. The Bible tells us before the foundation of the earth. He already knew who they were. He knew Jacob. He knew Israel. He knew David before they were. He knew who they were. And he knew when they would exist. Brothers and sisters, I know I'm talking a little deep now, but bear with me. He already knew from before you and I were thought about by our parents, great grandparents. He already knew that we would be brought forth at this time. At this time. He has us in places where he wants us to be right now. And he will put us in places where he wants us to be going forward. As he raised up, listen now, as he raised up Pharaoh for his glory. See, Pharaoh's all proud, and Pharaoh thought that he was going to kill off the Israelites if he couldn't enslave them. He's going to kill them, right? And he told Pharaoh, I raised thee up for my glory. I'm going to show forth my power in you. And he did. There's a lot of pharaohs out here now. You got the Pope. That's the main one. But you got all these Christian religious leaders. You got all these crooked politicians, all these crooked business people, multi-billionaires, while some people can't even eat. What kind of sense does that make? You get one man that's worth 100-something billion, and then you got many people that can't even eat. That don't make no sense, but that's the way of this world. This world is not fair. This world is unrighteous. We need to remember that. The kingdom of the Father is righteous. This world is not fair and it's not righteous, and that's the way it is. But he getting ready to put all this down. And he has brought all of these people, he's raised them up for purposes that bring him glory. And praise his name. He has brought you and I into this truth at this time so that we can bring him glory. In our redemption, listen carefully, in the redemption of his chosen people, he gets the glory. And the worse we were, when he brings us forth in righteousness, the more glory he gets. That's why the Apostle Paul said, shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? He said, Yah forbid. It's not about, being as dirty as you can so you can be as clean as you can. No, but it's just for his glory that he brings us forth. This was the one that used to do this. This was the one that was like that. This was the one that was all messed up. This one here, nobody had any hope for. Nobody cared. Nobody thought this one would ever make it. And look. That's what happened. So here in Ezekiel 37, what he's going to show is what's happening now. Brothers and sisters, Israel is scattered. Brothers and sisters, and even the ones of us that understand that Israel is scattered, the majority of the people on earth don't even know Israel exists. They're still looking at the fake people over there that we just saw from the word cannot be his true people. They cannot be. There's no Messiah unless the United Nations is Messiah. Unless the United States is Messiah. Ain't no Messiah lead them over there. And they will themselves tell you, ain't no Messiah come yet. So what you doing over there? Them Ashkenazis that come from the sons of Yafet. Bible never said his chosen people come from no Yafet. See? And then you got the whole world of Christianity. See? Brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. 666. 666. People are looking at Ronald Wilson Reagan. Brothers and sisters, I wish people would just if before people start trying to teach the Bible, I'm just saying, before people start trying to teach the Bible, I wish they would just at least once or twice read it through from cover to cover. Just read it through a couple times, right? Read it through from cover to cover a couple times. May the Spirit of the Father guide you. Don't just read pieces of it here and there for a couple of years and claim you know it. Don't do that. Study from cover to cover. Read it through. A couple of years, couple times. Read it through. Put some time into it. And let me just speak on this. I got it in my hand right now. Y'all can't see it. Y'all gonna look up video and see it. I got it in my hand right now. Apocrypha. I got that. I haven't read through it. I've been reading part of it. Okay? I've been reading Apocrypha. I haven't gotten through it. So I can't make a judgment on it. But let me tell you something. Okay? Listen carefully. I would suggest, I'm reading through the Apocrypha, but I would suggest before you brothers out here who are pushing this Apocrypha, before you read it, read through Genesis to Revelation a couple times. Read through that. Don't come pushing this Apocrypha if you haven't read the other parts of the Bible. Testing 1, 2, 3. And why do I say that? I say that because I know Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd Kings, 1st, 2nd Chronicles. I know Ezra, Nehemiah, Proverbs, Job, Esther. I know the Psalms. I know Ecclesiastes, Songs of Solomon, and all the I know that's the truth. I know Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians. I know that's the truth. And so that's the standard by which I judge the Apocrypha. Okay, I judged it by that standard, but I have to know the standard first. Okay, I'm not saying brothers shouldn't read the Apocrypha. Like I said, I'm reading it. But look, I spent a lot of years, decades, reading this other thing. I did. And so I'm just telling you. Just make sure you read this first, okay? 666. It says it's the number of a man. It represents the Pope. And it's no coincidence, brothers and sisters. The Bible showed us in the book of Daniel that it's Rome. It's coming out of Rome. It's a religious power coming out of Rome. Is that beast. It tells us that. We studied it. Also in Revelation chapter 16, it says there's 3 unclean spirits. Do you think it's coincidence? 3 unclean spirits, 666. 3 unclean spirits, 666. It says it comes out of the mouth of the beast, the dragon, and the false prophet. It's not hard, really. If you study the whole thing, I'm just telling you, okay? The beast, the dragon, the false prophet. Who is that? The beast is the Roman church, led by Catholic Church. The dragon is the devil. And the false prophet is all the Christian churches. Protestant Christianity is the false prophet. Somebody might say, what about Islam? Islam was created by the Roman Catholic Church. See, Islam was created by the Roman Catholic Church. I mean, from its inception. Khadijah was the woman that taught Muhammad how to read. Khadijah was Roman Catholic. And do you know Muslims use rosary beads just like the Catholics do? They use rosary beads. Okay? They do. All right? So, and they have, okay, I'm just telling you. Okay? So, that's that. And then you got Judaism, another made-up religion by the Edomites. Okay? And they fall under the power of Rome also. Now, the Protestant church is an offshoot of Rome. See, it was a rebellious child of Rome that Rome had to get back in control. The Protestant movement represented a rebellious child. That's why Rome said, come back to mother. That's why they call themselves Protestant. They are protesting Rome. By protesting Rome, they're giving honor to Rome in a sense by saying we acknowledge that Rome is supreme and we're protesting her and we're looking for her to reform. We're not saying she shouldn't exist. We're saying we just want her to reform. And all the reformers of the Dark Ages believed that. None of them actually wanted to leave the Catholic Church because they're all bastard children of Rome. That's your false prophets. Okay? Beast, dragon, false prophets. Catholicism, Protestantism, and the dragon himself, the devil. Because the Bible says the dragon gave him his power, seat, and great authority. Remember that? 3 unclean spirits. 666 because it's man-made. 6 is the day on which man was created. 6th day Adam was created. And remember what the Bible says, Genesis 3:22, behold, the man has become as one of us, to know good and evil. See, man think he God. 666, man as God. There you go. And that was the devil's promise. That's his main doctrine. The main doctrine of the Father is justification by faith. The main doctrine of the devil is you have control. You can be the God. You are above all. You're special. You're smarter than everybody else, and you can be the God. That's the devil's doctrine. That's his main doctrine. Man as God. And this whole earth is built on that doctrine. Man as God. Okay? Man as God. 6. 6th day. 666. 3 6s. Beast, dragon, false prophet. Controlled by the beast. Which is controlled by the dragon. Okay? Not hard. And because of that, the earth is believing we don't exist. The earth is believing the Israelites don't exist, which is why here in Ezekiel 37 is very important. Very important. And so it's the Father working through Messiah that revives the nation of Israel. Okay? Let me say it again. It is the Father working through Messiah that revives the nation of Israel. Messiah is the resurrection and the life. He is called forth by the Father as the Father's representation. He is not the Father, but he is the Father's representation. And he deserves that because he gave himself to save the nation. He gave himself to save the nation. Today, we honor all kinds of people as heroes that give their life for some cause. We do. We honor people. We honor Martin Luther King. We honor Malcolm X because they gave their life for the causes that they believed in, the cause that they felt as righteous causes. How much more does the only begotten Son of the Creator deserve to be memorialized, honored, glorified because of his sacrifice that the Father sent him to do, because of his high priestly ministry? Yes, that's why he's going to be King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So it's through him we get a resurrection of the nation, the Father's Spirit coming upon the people, awakening the people. Messiah introducing us to the Father, and then we receiving righteousness. It's happening already. People aren't noticing it on planet Earth, and that's by design. The Most High is doing it that way. He's doing it that way. When it's time for the 144,000 to be brought forth, people will then know something is going on. Nobody will acknowledge them as the 144,000. I need the only people that will know who they are the people that receive the truth. The most of the people on the earth are not going to know who these people are. They're going to think that it's some crazy cult. That's what they're going to think. But that doesn't matter. You see, brothers and sisters, we got to get to the point where what people think in terms of spiritual things, in terms of religious things, what people think doesn't matter. Only thing that matters to us is what does the Father think? What does the Father think? Is he with what we're believing? Is he with what we're doing? Is he the one that's inspiring us? Are we with his word? Those are the questions we need to be asking ourselves when we get on our knees. This is the question. Father, if I'm not walking in the truth, please guide me in the truth. Guide me where I should go. And when I don't, spank me when I need to be spanked. But show me the way I should go because I want to be with you. And we want him to say what he said to Moses. My presence shall go with you. That's what he told Moses. He said, I'm going to go. He said, if you don't go with us, don't send us. He said, my presence is going to go with you. Moses said, well, if you don't go with us, don't send us, because the only difference between us and everybody else on the earth is that you're with us. And that's all that matters. What else is happening on the planet doesn't matter. Really doesn't. Unfortunately, we get caught up in all of the entertainers of the world and what happens to the entertainers, and this one get killed and this one get exalted and this one sign contract and this one get show. What matters is, what does the Father think? What does the Father think? He's not paying no attention to none of this stuff in Hollywood. He's not paying no attention to these things. He don't care. He really don't. He only cares about his people. He came to seek and to save that which is lost. And he came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's what he come for. And that's, my brothers and sisters, that's what he's going to get. Ezekiel chapter 37. Let's start at verse 1. Ezekiel chapter 37. This is describing the condition of the Israelites before the revival, before the awakening. Ezekiel 37 from verse 1 down to verse 3. Notice what it says. And the hand of Yahweh was upon me, and he carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. And he caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many, and in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Most High Yahweh, thou knowest. So you got a valley full of bones. Carried him out in the spirit into a wilderness place, a desolate area. And he shows him a valley full of human bones, dead people, skeletons. And he asks a question to his prophet. He asks his prophet, Son of man, can these bones live? And the prophet answered wisely when he said, Yahweh, you know, because there was no life in it. When you see a bunch of bones, ain't no life in it. It's dead. It's gone, right? So he saw a bunch of bones in the valley. He said, can these bones live? Yep. You know, Father. You know if they can live. Because they don't look like they're going to live. They look like a pile of dead bones. Like nobody's paying attention to a pile of dead bones. Let's continue. Ezekiel chapter 37 from verse 4. From verse 4 down to verse 6. Notice what it says. Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the Most High Yahweh unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Oh, I love when he says that. So brothers and sisters, this is both physical and spiritual. What do I mean by that? There is going to be a physical resurrection of dead people. See, there's two things in the Bible that are too fantastic for anybody to believe but those that belong to the Most High. One is that there was a dead man named Messiah Yahushua that was raised from the dead after he had been dead 3 days. And he lives today. We can't see him, but we believe that he lives today. The second one is that he's going to come down out the sky. I know brothers have a hard time with this.